So he's talking about Daily Wire. He's talking about Snow White. Bro, it is so true. The idea, you guys have all heard this. For like 5 years straight, the right would go after the left and say, oh, fucking snowflakes, fucking triggered ass. Oh, bro, comedy should be legal again, bro. You guys can't even take a joke and you want to censor people. And then, when I look around, all I see right now, I see liberals and leftists who are hair on fire over Trump and Elon cutting Social Security, cutting Medicaid, destroying the social safety net, warmongering with all these different countries, really in a fury over the destruction of due process and illegally shipping people to an El Salvador slave labor camp with no hearing, and all these people turn out to be innocent. This is what I see liberals and leftists talking about all day, every day. That's what I see. And to Bill Burr's point, you look at the right, and you're fucking bitching about Snow White? What is wrong? Who gives a fuck? So they remake some Disney movies, which, by the way, some of these movies, when they remake, we're on like the 4th version of these different movies, right? And oh my God, there's a black person in this role, or there's a Latina in that role. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? And then look, it's kind of unavoidable, right? Like you have to come to the conclusion. Why would they be so outraged over that? Why would they be so outraged? Because they're flat out admitting, I would prefer white people to have these roles because that's what I grew up with. So that's what I want now. And it's like, if you're concerned about the race of a fictional character and you are saying it has to be a white person, how are we not going to call that racist? Right? And this is the shit you're fucking focusing on. At the same time, your president is threatening to steal Greenland and steal Panama and bomb Iran and threatening Canada. This is the fucking thing you're focused on? This is what you're all outraged about? This is the thing that leads to 17,000 anti-woke channels to make videos about? It's so deeply unserious. It's so fucking unserious. I mean, I've never seen a bigger case of psychological projection in my life, where the right insists the left is all focused on stupid stuff like policing comedy and this and that. Meanwhile, go look at the fucking meltdown every time Bill Burr opens his mouth and goes after Elon Musk. Look at the meltdown from the right. So the right is melting down over Bill Burr's jokes about Elon Musk. Why? Because they fucking like Elon Musk. So who's melting down over jokes? Who's melting down over completely and utterly inconsequential cultural shit? It's you guys. It's you guys. And the free speech thing too always gets me, bro. The right sucked themselves off for 5 years about how they love free speech. They love the First Amendment. They're the ones that, are defenders of that. And the left is against that now, bro. How many times have you heard that? It used to be that the left was for free speech. Now it's the right wing, bro. This is like a Roganism, and his right-wing comedian hack friends say the same thing. And then it's like, here you have a president who is literally actually destroying the First Amendment, who said, hey, Mahmoud Khalil protested against the Israeli genocide and for Palestine. Let's round him up and ship him to an ICE facility and disappear his ass with no hearing whatsoever. Let's strip the residency of hundreds of students in this country because they partook in a pro-Palestine protest against the Israeli genocide. And these people are saying fucking dick about it. To be fair, the libertarians like Ron Paul have criticized it, but the MAGA cultists are like, fuck them. They shouldn't even fucking be here in the first place. Fuck them. Get them out of here. This is what they're saying. So when it's some conservative commentator who gets protested giving a speech at a college, it's the end of the fucking world, hair on fire. The West is falling because of liberals and leftists. But when it's the actual president of the United States actually violating the Constitution and the First Amendment, they're fucking they actually agree with it. They agree with it. So I'm just so sick of these people. They're so full of shit. The thing I'll never understand is how everybody's moral meter is broken. Liberals and leftists are way better with their moral meter. But at the same time, it's like, even they, like, the whole Signalgate controversy, which became the biggest story in the country. To me, the bigger scandal was that our country was illegally bombing Yemen in the first place, right? Everybody got obsessed with how it happened, and the idiot Trump officials invited in a journalist to the conversation where there's literal war plans on Signal, which is illegal also, because this isn't supposed to be happening on Signal, this conversation, right? And that became the biggest story in the country. And it's like, I get why that's a huge story. I do. I get it. But to me, the bigger story is, why are we illegally bombing the Houthis? All the Houthis are doing is blockading ships from getting to Israel because Israel's committing a genocide. And they say, hey, if they stop committing a genocide, if there's a ceasefire, we'll stop doing this. And instead of us ushering in an actual ceasefire to get them to stop, we decided to bomb them illegally, no congressional approval, totally unconstitutional. And like, that's the bigger scandal to me. But I guess everybody's meter is off to one extent or another. But obviously, without a doubt, the conservative meter is just cooked, right? You got the vice president of the United States going on Twitter, lying about these innocent people they're sending to an El Salvador slave labor camp. Saying, oh, this person is a convicted MS-13 gang member. No, he's fucking not. That was a total lie. He's talking about the dude who's a dad to a 5-year-old who's disabled, right? Never had a criminal conviction. They shipped him out of the country because he was wearing like a Bulls shirt and a Bulls hat, and they said, oh, that's evidence of him being in a gang. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? So, keep going, Bill. Keep going. I highly appreciate it. This shows also how, like, detached I am from that world. The world of the people who are obsessed with culture, but they make it hyper-political. The world of people who talk about shit like a Snow White movie and act like it's a huge deal, right? I'm so disconnected from that world because I actually follow the news. I actually follow policy. I actually want to know what's happening overseas. I actually want to know what's happening with the fucking tax rates and with the tariffs and with our civil liberties and shit like that. And you got these conservative idiots who think they're hot shit and think they're political commentators, and they're bitching about Snow White. What a joke. What a joke. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.